back to my channel. So today we're going to cover this season's 16 and Pregnant with Rachelle's story. Rachelle is a girl from Tahunga, California, and she is with an older guy named Chase. I mean, he's not that much older, but he's older. And her family is from Guatemala. They are immigrants from here, and she was a 4.0 student, really tried to do her parents right by their efforts of getting her and her family here. She figured the least she could do is do good in school, but she did get pregnant by Chase, and it's a bit of a tumultuous issue between her and her parents. She actually had to move out and go move in with Chase because her parents were just so disappointed. Her mom especially taking it very, very hard. So just to give a little bit of information on why her parents are so disappointed, because it really is the main point of this story. Her parents moved from Guatemala. They were immigrants, like I said. And she has at least 2, if not 3, older sisters. And she is the youngest, and both of her sisters got pregnant very young and had babies. And while they're great mothers, their parents really wanted more for Rachelle. They really wanted her to use her amazing grade point average and amazing abilities in school to become something. And having a child is not going to prevent that. It's just going to slow her down a little bit. And that is Rachelle's main purpose and point, and one reason why she wanted her story out. You can see little Rachelle here with her older sisters. Now that is Iris. That is her best friend and her 16-year older sister. They are, again, 16 years difference, but she says Iris really acts like she's her age, so it's really hard to tell that she's older sometimes, but she's really been her rock. She's the family member that's basically been the go-between her parents since the whole issue of her getting pregnant. Rachelle moved out and is again living with Chase, her boyfriend, so she's a bit lonely and misses her family, and she gets to go out with Iris to kind of help with that. So here we have Chase, Rachelle's boyfriend and baby daddy, or soon to be, and he's just out with his friend, cutting up, laughing about the fact that he did not expect to be the first person out of that friendship to have a baby. His friend actually makes a joke and says, I thought it would be me because, I don't wear no jimmies. What are these boys doing with their lives? Like, come on, boys, wear a jimmy. And there's his best friend. So, they're just being boys, though. It's a good clip. It's good to see that Chase himself has support from his friends. And Rachelle gets a little bit lonely while she's at home. She explains that Chase works a lot, and she didn't expect to be home alone as much as she is. So she decides to go and try to have lunch with her parents, which starts out okay. Her mom, again, who is the more questionable, judgmental, not so happy about this. Not that her dad is, but her mom's really the one that she needs to get on board with the pregnancy, to be frank. Her mom and dad and her get into it briefly when they say that they're really disappointed in her, and Rachelle decides to get up and leave. Her dad tries to stop her, but she's out the door. But next they have their baby shower, which does go a lot better for Rachelle. Her and Chase are going to be welcoming a beautiful baby girl, and they're going to name her Boston Sophia after Chase's favorite sports teams, all coming from Boston. Chase has a lot of friends at the baby shower, more than the mom. This is a first that I've seen. You can see a lot of the guy friends there. And she mentions that she's so glad for the support, but she really hasn't had any support from any of her friends from school, which is unfortunate. You can see here that she only has 2 of her friends that join, and they both look a little uncomfortable. Not to be mean, just saying they do look kind of uncomfortable. After the baby shower, the family seems to be getting along a little bit better. Rachelle goes into how it's very difficult being that Chase and her have only knew each other for 30 days prior to getting pregnant. They just moved in together, and the house isn't even ready for the baby's arrival quite yet. So, she's got her work cut out for her. But shortly after the baby shower, the baby arrives. So here's a little clip of that for you guys. So after the delivery, everyone was just really focused on Miss Boston Sophia. She came in almost at 9 pounds at 8.12 ounces. And they go back home and they're really kind of just hanging out, the two of them with the baby. Chase is a bit bothered because he says her family thinks that he's keeping her away from them when he just wants to spend time with his family after bringing home the new baby, which is understandable. I get it. They weren't supportive 90% of the way, so they're gonna have to understand that this is time for Rachelle to take her time and for Chase to take his time becoming new parents. But the tensions start to rise. They do kind of start arguing a little bit more, and her mom and dad are really just focused on Boston, so that's really not a problem anymore, except for they just want to see their grandchild. And Rachelle listens to Chase's complaints and his feelings. But in the end, she does decide, after a lot of fighting with Chase, to go back and stay with her parents. She actually starts to deal with some depression. She's not quite clear about if it's just basic regular depression that she's dealing with. She doesn't really say if it's that or if it's postpartum. But she does go live with her parents for a little while. She says that her mom and dad are just focused on Boston Sophia, but she just needed to take time to work on her mental health. And I think that's really, really strong. Of course, MTV always promotes halfofus.com if you have any mental health issues to work on. Feel free to check out halfofus.com. So Chase is then working out with his friends. You can see they've set up a at-home gym because, of course, COVID is starting and the whole pandemic is happening. But he says that he needs his family together, that he cannot stand the fact that Rachelle decided to take Boston and leave. They sit down and have a heart-to-heart, and he basically pours his heart out to her, saying how much it's killing him not being with his baby and his baby mama / girlfriend. He just explains pretty much, he needs to be with her. They need to make this work for Boston. And, they're young. It's really good to see him making such an effort. I love his LA tattoo, by the way. My brother has one almost very, very similar. But, in the end, they decide to work it out. She does move back in with Chase, and she's doing great, she says. He's coming into being a father greatly. They have such a beautiful little girl. Look at her. Oh my gosh, those curls are to die for. You can see that he is a gloating father, and you can see that they've also got their house much more set up and organized. And I think she says that she gets a lot of her mental health issues under check. She decides to go to therapy, and that her and Chase will eventually go to therapy as well. It's really good to see these younger girls making such mature decisions at their age. But she decides that, she's not going to give up on school. She's not going to give up on her dreams. She says the only difference now is that she has a little sidekick. And what a cute sidekick she is. She actually is enrolling in school, and she is actually not telling her parents just yet. She decides that maybe she'll tell them once she graduates. But for now, you can see that she is doing her best, and her goal in telling her story is that in her catch-up series, she says that one of the misconceptions of being a teen mom is that your life is over. And she says hers has just begun. Her schooling is no way over. It makes me think of Kailari and how successful she really was. after getting on the show and going back to school. So I really wish the best for Rachelle and Chase. I think their little girl is beautiful. It's great to see that the families have blended together and they do have the support that every young parent needs. And I wish them the best. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment below. We will be getting into Maddie's story next. She is episode 3 and that aired last night. So I will be catching you guys up with that one in a day or so. So take care, one love, and hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not, or consider it. You don't have to. I'm not your mommy. Take care. Bye.